"Are you properly religiously Jewish?" asked the doctor, who was teaching us for the afternoon, after overhearing a conversation between me and a fellow student, where I happened to mention that I'm Jewish. "Yes," I replied. "So do you pray?" he asked. "Yes, I do." "Okay," he said, "so how can I help you?" After giving me some valuable career advice and offering some useful opportunities, he said to me, "There's just one thing I'd like you to do for me in return." I stared, wondering what I could possibly do for this very successful doctor. After a moment, he said, "Please pray for me and my family to be happy, healthy, and successful." This was quite a pivotal moment. As Jewish people, when we contemplate our interactions with non-Jews, we sometimes assume that the best possible outcome of sharing our Jewish identity with others is one that's quite neutral, when in reality it's entirely plausible that being confident and comfortable when expressing one's Judaism publicly can have some really positive effects. When learning about the Chanukah story, a key way that Antiochus' approach towards anti-Semitism differed from that of Haman's in the Purim story was that Haman discriminated against the Jews based on race, whereas Antiochus and the Greeks enforced discrimination based on religion and culture. The Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah says that one of the things the Greeks did was to tell the Jews to write on the horns of their oxen that they no longer had a portion with Hashem. What this shows is that they wanted us to reject the very part of ourselves that is religiously Jewish. On Chanukah, we remember the nes, the miracle of the military victory of the Jewish people against their Greek oppressors. We should also take note of another important spiritual war that was fought by every person who continued to do mitzvot, who continued to maintain their strong Jewish identity regardless of the circumstances. Imagine a huge symphony orchestra is preparing to perform for an audience that for some reason consists entirely of people who play the violin. Just before they go on stage, the conductor informs the orchestra that only the violinist will be performing tonight, and everybody else should wait backstage. The next evening, the audience only contains people who play the flute, and this time the conductor only allows the flautist to perform. Naturally, the audiences are disappointed, as they came to experience the orchestra as an entire unit, with all of its instruments, not just those that they themselves play. Many members of the audiences anyway play multiple instruments themselves. Sometimes we make the same mistake as this conductor. We all have many elements that contribute towards our overall identity. We might be simultaneously Jewish and British, and perhaps parents, siblings, students, teachers, scientists, volunteers, leaders, pioneers, and so many other things. But often we stifle key parts of who we are that we don't have the confidence to reveal in situations where perhaps another part of our identity is the focus, or when we're in an environment where people are less familiar with the concept of Judaism. Perhaps we make the mistake of viewing all of these identities as inversely proportional to each other, or even mutually exclusive. This is not the case. In order for us to be our true authentic selves, the different contributors to our overall identity should enhance each other, not detract. Being true to our Jewish identity and expressing our Judaism without being ashamed should contribute to the improvement of whatever else we're involved in at any given time, and vice versa. As human beings, we respect people who seem comfortable with themselves, something that is somewhat achieved by being consistent in who we are. The Shulchan Aruch, the major code of Jewish law written in the 16th century, lists many halachot involving making the Chanukah visible to the public domain, depending on one's circumstances. In his commentary on this, known as the Mishnah Berurah, the Chavetz Chaim explains that this is because of Pesumei Nisa, publicizing the miracle. A clear indicator that the theme of Chanukah, or one of the themes of Chanukah, is the fact that we're proud to be Jewish. Tonight, when you've lit the Chanukah candles, try to spend some time reflecting on how much of a part Judaism plays in your overall Jewish identity, and whether you're able to comfortably express your Judaism in any situation. Additionally, let's all work to ensure that in Jewish spaces we encourage people to maintain all of the other aspects of who they are. Chanukah Sameach.
The sixth night of Chanukah, representing the 6 days of the week and everything that we can achieve in this world. Our wonderful achievements during these dark times of the pandemic bring light to the world when we see our volunteers, the Chesed department, and the tremendous work done to support the community. It all comes to light on the 6th night of Chanukah. The Shamash lights the other candles, but it never diminishes, reminding us that no matter how much we contribute, how much we give, no matter what we do, our lights will never diminish. Am Yisrael Chai. Let's light the 6th night of Chanukah. Baruch atah שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. Please join me for הנרות הללו.